Gaudy stats. Good God, that's Gaudy. Welcome to Gaudy Stats
with Ben Simmons.
What's on the menu, Benny boy?
Not another one. Ugh. Not another one. Kristaps, sometimes referred to by Knicks fans as Kristaps Porzingis. He had a mortal moment. He fell to the floor in a heap of sadness and broken dreams. Oh man, Boogie and now KP. It's too much. We're gonna kind of look at Kristaps' season, put it into perspective. He was having an up and down season, especially lately. But he's fresh off a 22-point, 8 rebound, 5 block, 4 steal game. Oh, Kristaps. It's sad, man. These big guys, large men, getting falling hard. Big tree fall hard. 7'3", 240-pound man tore his ACL. Knicks fans are weeping. They're crying all across the great state of New York, as they should be. Recovery is expected to take 9 to 12 months. He will not be ready for the beginning of next season. Hopefully, he'll return to his unicorn ways, cantering up and down the floor like the beast that he is, the otherworldly, magical creature sent from another dimension that he is. And then the Knicks send off his best bud on the team, Willie Hernangomez, who I like. I like Willie, Big Willie Styles. And he puts up great stats in like per minute. When you look at his per minute averages, he puts up big numbers. Confusing times. I'm a little out of sorts. I'm hungry. I'm always doing these podcasts when I'm hungry. We're just gonna go over Kristaps' season in review and project to next year. I mean, Amari Stoudemire tore his ACL. Similar, he's not as tall. He was 6'10". He is 6'10". He's still alive, Simmons. He can come back. It's not like, we talked about tearing your Achilles. It's not like that. He's going to come back. The question is, will he be as explosive for the remainder of his career? That is in the eye of the beholder. We'll see. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's get to it. We're gonna do the pod with some spicy Szechuan noodles. Ooh. Now I don't even know how to make those. I'll have to go to my local hole in the wall and get some of those noodles with that spicy sauce on top. Little thinly cut slices of beef with that Szechuan sauce. Oh boy, nice and spicy. Nice little pick-me-up on a cold day in Portlandia, Oregon. Is oregano named after Oregon, or is Oregon named after oregano? Or are they two completely different things? I don't know. My mind is in the clouds. These injuries are taking their toll on my brain. It's like every large man with crazy athleticism is tearing crucial ligaments in their legs. Something about being so large. It's almost as if these guys aren't made to run up and down the floor for 35 minutes a night. for night after night after night, 82 games. It's almost as if they're not created for this kind of grind. Oh, man. Okay. Well, let's look at KP's stats for this year. The Knicks, I mean, they've lost 4 straight. They were losing with KP, if we got to be completely honest. They won 2, then lost 4 straight. And then before that, they had lost 3 straight. Then they won 1. They lost another one. Then won 1. Then they had lost 3 straight. Then they had won 1. Then they lost 3. I mean, they've been losing. They've started to drop off after a hot start. Similarly, old Kristaps started out of the gate white hot. 29 points per game in November. It's 6 games. He was filling it up. I don't know if you remember. In those 6 games, he scored over 30 points 5 times. He dropped a 40-pointer in the next month. But going from October, where he averaged 29 points a game, to November, he saw a dip to 24 points a game in November. And then in December, so he goes from 29, 24, and then in December, he's at 22.2 points a game. So, he talked about it. The grind of the season, being the number 1 option, started to wear on him a little bit. Interestingly, his minutes were going up. He had 34 minutes a game in January, 33 in December, 30 in November. Man, is it just a freak injury? Or is this man just simply not built for 35 minutes a game in the NBA? I mean, we've seen gangly, beanstalky players like the dear Lord Zingis. Well, we've never seen anything like him. Let's be honest. He's a unicorn. But talked about Bill Walton before. Oh, the great Bill Walton. We're going to do a Bill Walton podcast, no doubt, for sure. But, we talked about it on the Devin Booker versus Porzingis pod. And by the way, Devin Booker has his own injuries to deal with. But if you're going to bet on one or the other for the rest of their career, is Porzingis the smart bet? I kind of was leaning towards yes. You go with Porzingis because it's a man who can get a shot off on anybody. Although there was an article that recently came out about how he was getting blocked a lot by shorter players, which is something I think he'll probably fix. I mean, you're basically talking about, as it's been talked about many times, a Dirk Nowitzki-like shooter who can also play great help defense and is more athletic. But going back to the big guys, the Bill Walton, Yao Ming's, foot problems for big guys. It's an age-old story. Porzingis is, as I said, 7'3", 240. He did a lot of conditioning this offseason to strengthen his lower body, his legs. Saw a lot of strange videos with him and a trainer. Porzingis appeared to be wearing some sort of diaper, some sort of chastity belt that was doing something that was maybe increasing circulation in his groin. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physical therapist. But he was putting in an extra work. And it's sad. It's sad to see him go down. But this may be the norm for him. And it's a little worrisome. But I was perusing some articles about ACL injuries. And, I think he'll bounce back and hopefully have the career that everybody envisioned for him. That said, it's a little worrisome. I'm reading an article in The Guardian. It's called "An ACL injury is no longer a career killer, but can athletes ever truly be the same?" There's a lot of NFL talk, a lot of baseball talk, but we're interested in the NBA for this particular subject. And there's an interesting thing here from Dr. Tim Hewitt of the Mayo Clinic. And it says this: Hewitt points out the high rate of ACL injuries among NBA point guards, 15 since the lockout by his calculations. To support the theory for ACL injuries, not all positions in sports are equal. The nature of the NBA game, especially that of the point guard position, is high speed cutting, jumping, pivoting, so it makes sense that the recoveries are longer in professional basketball. Although, like the other sports, there is a high rate of return to sport in the NBA following ACL reconstruction. The careers of players that have torn an ACL are almost on average 2 years shorter than other players. Playing time, games played, and player efficiency ratings are also significantly decreased after the injury. Now, of course, the article doesn't cite. I want to see the stats, man. I want to see the stats. So I kept digging. Folks. And I found this interesting study, okay, by the Orthopedic Journal of Sports Medicine. It was a study published in 2016, in May of 2016. It's titled "Athletic Performance at the National Basketball Association Combine After Anterior Cruciate Ligament Reconstruction." All right, so the purpose was to compare NBA Combine performance of athletes after ACL reconstruction with an age, size, and position matched control group of players with no previous reported knee injury requiring surgery. We hypothesized that there is no difference between the two groups in functional performance. There you go. All right. The methods. A total of 1,092 NBA caliber players who participated in the NBA Combine between 2000 and 2015 were reviewed. 21 athletes were identified as having primary ACL reconstruction prior to participation in the Combine. The study group was compared with age, size, and position match control group in an objective functional performance testing, including the shuttle run test, lane agility test, three-quarter court sprint, vertical jump, no step, and maximum vertical jump, running start. Okay, so here are the results. This is really fascinating to me. With regard to quickness and agility, both ACL reconstructed athletes and controls scored an average of 11.5 seconds in the lane agility test and 3.1 seconds in the shuttle run test. Speed and acceleration was measured by the three-quarter court sprint, in which both study group and control group averaged 3.3 seconds. And the maximum vertical jump, which demonstrates an athlete's jumping ability with a running start, the ACL reconstruction group had an average height of 33.6 inches, while the controls averaged 33.9. In the standing vertical jump, the ACL reconstruction group averaged 28.2 inches, while the control group averaged 29.2. Okay, so the conclusion is, in athletes who are able to return to sport and compete at a high level, such as the NBA Combine, there is no significant difference in any combine performance test between players who've had primary ACL reconstruction compared with age, size, and position matched control group. So that's kind of fascinating, because it's one thing to like, okay, what were his stats before? What were his stats after? Because there's so many other elements at work there. Like, oh, maybe they got, another player who took more shots away from him, so his stats weren't as good. But this is talking about athletic performance in terms of running, all these other things. So what is in store for Kristaps? I mean, Derrick Rose had the ACL injury, and it basically ruined his entire career. He was never the same. You got Jabari Parker for the Bucks, who's had multiple ACL injuries or multiple knee injuries. He's had at least one ACL. It's tough to say, man. It's really tough. It's just a bad break for the NBA as a whole, you know? Oh, man. All these bright young stars getting hurt. But if you look at Kristaps' stats, okay, so let's just put his year in review. He played 48 games, 32 minutes a game, 32.4 compared to 32.8 last year. He's shooting 43.9% compared to 45% last year. He raised his three-point percentage from 35.7 to 39.3 on the exact same number of three-point attempts, which is very interesting. 4.8. 4.8 last year, 4.8 this year. He's actually shooting worse from two than he did last year. 45.5 compared to 49.3. Excuse me. And he's averaging 6.6 rebounds compared to 7.2. I think that's kind of the Enes Kanter effect. Enes Kanter is funneling rebounds, and also Porzingis is on the outside, raining threes, not as close to the rim for those rebounds. 2.4 blocks compared to 2 last year. 0.8 steals compared to 0.7. 2.4 blocks is nice. He had 2 last year though too, so he's a swatter extraordinaire. 22.7 points compared to 18.1 last year, and then 14.3 his rookie year. So he's gone up 4 points every year. So if it takes him 9 to 12 months to recover, similar to Jabari Parker and others, that's going to put him, they say 9 months. It'll probably be later than that. So let's say he gets back into the NBA around this time next year. So what are the chances of the Knicks? The Knicks are trying to make the playoffs this year. What are the chances of them making the playoffs next year without KP? Not that good, So if I'm a Knicks fan, I'm completely bummed out. If you're really negative, as a lot of Knicks fans are, you could just throw away, this season and next season as we're not going to make the playoffs. Not going to happen. Now, they can make moves. A bunch of things could happen. They can still make the playoffs, but what a huge bummer. It really is too bad. But, I think this season can be seen as a success for Porzingis. He took some strides, not shooting as well, but more of the offensive burden is on him. He's shooting better from three. That should be said. Almost 40%, which is great. That's what I was talking about in the KP Booker pod is, for a while, I felt like his three-point shooting was overrated. People give Blake Griffin so much shit. I'm going to talk about Blake Griffin again. I talked about Blake Griffin in the recent Boogie Cousins Harden podcast. But KP shot 35% from three last year. Okay. 35.7% from three last year, okay? Blake Griffin is shooting 34% this year. His last 5 games, by the way, he's shooting 40.9% from three. It's Blake Griffin. He shot 7 threes recently. February 5th, Monday against Portland, he was 3 for 7 from three. That's 42.9%. Against New Orleans, this was before he was traded, he was 4 for 6 from three. That was on January 28th. So in those last 5 games, Blake Griffin, as I said, 40.9%. 34% for the year. Folks, I'm just saying that Blake Griffin is going to be a better three-point shooter than you think. He's going to be able to stretch the floor, be that stretch four, the modern day four that people want him to be so bad, that people are obsessed with. I understand why, but just to dismiss him completely like he's extinct, like he can no longer be used, is just so short-sighted and ridiculous. But anyways, Porzingis saw some strides in his shooting. As I said, 35.7 to 39.3. And he shot 33.3 his first year from three. So I think his three-point shooting was a little bit overstated, but it's starting to it was starting to reach what people kind of were assuming he was at. People thought that he was that good of a shooter when they haven't really looked at the stats, but now he's actually there. 39.3. That's very good especially for a 5. But yeah, it's a bummer. This is going to be a short pod. I just wanted to talk about this because, man, it's putting a dark cloud over the NBA. I mean, the All-Star game was going to be so much fun. You had all these high-flying big guys, and little guys. But John Wall's not going to be playing. Boogie, obviously. Porzingis is out. Again, I would like somebody to explain to me why Will Chamberlain and all these big guys from yesteryear were able to play all these minutes, and then guys, with similar height and build. Okay, Kristaps is not built like Will Chamberlain, but you know what I'm saying? Like, why? What is going on that are they playing harder? I mean, these guys didn't have the benefit of all this modern medical technology, yet they were able to play more minutes, the same number of games. Someone's going to have to explain it to me sometime. One day I'll get a sports scientist, a doctor, to explain why that could be, because I'm fascinated by it. It's a mystery. It is an absolute mystery. But speaking of Blake Griffin, Detroit's won 4 in a row. So, one game Blake didn't play in. But, they beat Memphis, Miami, and Portland. Good teams. Close wins against Memphis, close win against Miami. Blew out Portland. Portland might have been on a second night of a back-to-back. Anyways, you know what? Thanks for listening. Short, quick pod. We'll try to get another pod in this week. I want to talk some more NBA. I want to talk about Lauri Markkanen at some point. Is that how you say his name? Man, that guy he's fun to watch. Raining threes from behind the arc. I think he's the fastest player in NBA history to reach 100 three-pointers. Isn't that wild? It's kind of a sign of the times, though. But, yeah, I want to talk about him. So, yeah, I'm sorry. It's a short pod, but I'm a little busy right now. Can't really, let it ride for a really long time today. But, I appreciate you listening. Hey, I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed that Super Bowl. If you haven't listened to it, listen to our Super Bowl pod. It was pretty fun. Talked to a Philadelphia Eagles fan and a Patriots fan right after the Super Bowl. Immediate post-game reaction. One was jubilation. One was sorrow, depression. But, are we really going to feel sorry for the Patriot fans? Are we really going to? I'm not. There's no way I am, man. They've had their fun in the sun. Move over. Time for a new sheriff in town. But yeah, I ate so much. It was delicious. I want to do some more food podcasts too when I have the time. It's all about having the time, folks. Wouldn't it be cool? I wish I could just do this all day, an all-day podcast every single day, talking about stats. I think you'd run out of content pretty fast, huh? Content. It's all about the content. You got to get the content to people's ear holes. Yeah. The content game. Sometimes I hate that word content because it's like it devalues the art. Yeah, you might be like, oh, podcasts aren't art, Simmons. Well, in a way they are, okay? And they should be treated as such. No, I mean, some are just, informative, blah, blah, blah. But when you talk about like, a painting as content or, a short film as content or a movie as content, it's like, it can't all be content. Because content, I mean, you gotta appreciate and savor certain things. Content has the connotation of just being disposable. You're just throwing it away. Well, damn it, I'm gonna make a stand. You're not gonna throw away this podcast, okay? This is It's more than content, folks. The Gaudy Stats podcast is more than just content, okay? I gotta eat lunch because you can tell I'm a little loopy right now. And I'm gonna start eating food before the podcast, not right afterwards, because let me tell you something. It really helps me focus, okay? But listen, enough about me. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you soon, okay? Spread the word. Gaudy Stats Podcast. We're on Twitter at Gaudy Stats. Follow us, please. Thank you very much. We're on Facebook. We are on Stitcher. We're on Spotify. Google Play. TuneIn. Oh, I need to announce TuneIn on our Twitter, or was it Google Play? I need to spread the word. We're on all sorts of pod platforms. Just type us into the old Googie and pick your favorite platform, because we're there. We're all over the place. We're taking over the podcast game very slowly, but we're gonna take it over. Yeah. Hey, I'm just rambling right now. I'm just creating content. Okay. See this 2-second pause? That's content. That is content. You are consuming it right now. You're consuming even silence. You're consuming that content. It's entertaining you, right? Okay. Time for me to fix myself. Maybe, I don't know, a large sandwich of some sort. I got some leftover. Oh, I have some leftover Chinese food, actually. I'm going to eat that. And it's going to be great. I'm going to enjoy it. And, another thing I wanted to tell you guys. Guess what I just got? Guess. I got the entire library of Simpsons, okay, streaming through the FXXX app, or is it FXX? I upgraded my cable. Okay, wait, this sounds like an ad. This is not an ad, okay? I'm so excited about this. I stopped watching The Simpsons, I think, the 3rd season. I don't know, I was a young kid. And I just was watching other things, but I still love The Simpsons. But now I get to watch it all, in order from the very beginning. And folks, I've watched a season and a half of The Simpsons. It holds up so well. It doesn't seem dated. The animation's awesome. It's a joy. So if you haven't done it, upgrade your cable and get it and watch it. All right. Instead of cutting the cords, I'm getting more cords, which I don't like, but it's just to watch The Simpsons. All right. And being able to stream The Simpsons to your tube. Oh, man, it's fun. It's really enjoyable. Okay. We're finally going to sign off. Sorry, Knicks fans. Tough break. I hope Kristaps bounces back. I hope we get some more, amazing blocks, some throwdowns. More threes, raining threes from beyond the arc. I hope we get some more unicorn. He's an amazing player, and the whole NBA was sad to see him go down. I'm not a part of the NBA, but the NBA community was sad to see him go down. Okay, so let's hope he bounces back. Okay. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Okay, have a great one.